All right, welcome back. Another episode of Everything Jer. I'm your host, Jer, and I got a excited episode, or I'm excited for the episode coming up. We've got Kingsley. We can refer to him as King, or that's how I've been referring to him at least, and Erin, both co-founders of Flote, and a lot of other dope stuff that they've done as well. How you guys doing today?
Great. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of a new series, or been experimenting with one. I feel like I'm connected with a lot of people on Facebook, on social media, but a lot of them I like only interact with a little bit online. I don't really, never had like a conversation with. So kind of wanted to reach out to a bunch of people and just get to know them a little bit more. Erin was willing to do so, so thank you for that. And then I think I solidified it with signing up for Flote and starting a profile for Flote. So I just did that about an hour ago. How about we could probably start off by talking about that. If you want to explain what Flote is, and then how you guys kind of came up with the idea and why you were inspired to do it.
Yeah. Flote's a social network and soon to be marketplace. So at least next year we'll launch our marketplace. We saw kind of the trend that was happening with censorship online, and saw the impact that it was making on a lot of independent journalists, especially that I've been following for years on YouTube. So Erin has been kind of instrumental in creating these relationships. I always say that she's basically all these YouTubers that I've been fanboy of for back to like the Ron Paul days in 2008. Somehow, some way, she like magically is able to like grab through the screen and bring them into our real life. So
I'm just nice. I'm the nice one.
Yeah,
that's why. Right?
Yeah. So we all these people they started building up their communities, using social media like it was supposed to be, where you have mainstream historically kind of spewing what you want to hear, and then social media popped up in the 2000s, and it was like a great place for us to build community and communicate directly with our audience and build up a following. And we slowly start to saw that to deteriorate. And so we, it was really concerning for me, especially using Google and YouTube as a research tool for just various topics that I'm interested in. And, some of those topics are kind of, more like libertarian leaning or crypto leaning. And just noticing that, like, first of all, these YouTubers were having to change the words that they say just to cover, current events, nothing really that controversial.
Right.
And even crypto people have been censored on YouTube. And then noticing also the algorithm changes on Google, where things that used to populate in the search results were now being kind of just hidden, whether it's completely gone or maybe on the third or fourth page now. Yeah. Just very concerning.
You can type in the exact title of the video and it's still not pop up. It's crazy.
So go ahead.
I'm a little bit interested in mushrooms a bit, and I think the last couple months a bunch of groups have been getting shut down, like with no notice. So I've been seeing it and experiencing it as well, and it sucks because it's like, one, you don't have any notice, and two, things were going well for a while. A lot of time it's not like you're even really doing anything wrong, you're just talking about stuff, and it's like these trigger words.
I got a notification or a strike on my Facebook account the other day from a post I posted 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Asking in a group for elderberry syrup.
Yeah, it makes no sense. So I guess you said you guys kind of started this when you saw censorship kind of getting worse. I feel like censorship could have been getting worse for a while. What are you talking about, like 2 years ago when it when like Twitter started? I guess that was about 2 years ago. Or what like time period are you talking about where censorship started getting bad and you're like, we need to do something?
Yeah, I think that the trend for censorship has been going up and up and up. I noticed this, during 2008 and 2012 elections, as I was, helping with the Ron Paul campaign. So a lot of us saw what was happening there. And really, I think the catalyst was, whether you agree with them or not, is when Alex Jones got deplatformed in 2018, when all the big tech companies at the same time, just by coincidence,
just like completely wiped him off the map.
Completely wiped him off the map. And this was a guy that's probably, had over 1 billion views on YouTube, and who knows how much money he brought, to Google directly from his videos. So, and then from there, it was, then they started attacking, smaller content creators, independent journalists that were covering just, again, nothing really controversial, just
like
current events,
anti-war efforts, or, small town protests, or
whatever it may be. So, these are people that, good people that have been building up their, especially their YouTube, Facebook, Twitter audience for years, on YouTube specifically, started getting to 150,000 subscribers, 250,000 subscribers, making, anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 a month, really now like able to take that monetization and really focus on their work. And overnight, sometimes really literally for no reason, or typically they'll just point to like vague community guidelines where you're like, what did I do wrong? Still, I don't understand. So we saw it as an opportunity that's, big tech has been, we've all been using big tech platforms for so long. And now, I feel that it's because they realize that kind of the internet is getting out of their hand, especially since we're now developing
decentralized technologies.
Decentralized technologies, utilizing blockchain or IPFS.
Right. Things are headed more towards the freedom-oriented side of the spectrum, and so of course, like any powerful organization does, they try to insert more control as they are starting to lose that control. So it's just a big,
I feel like they're
power play.
They're grasping at straws right now, and more people are starting to kind of wake up, or at least question the things that they're doing. So we started because of that.
I guess excuse me if like I don't understand the tech so much, but I feel like a lot of these big companies, or maybe not these big companies, but some companies like want to be about freedom and no censorship, but then kind of when they get to a certain size, they don't have a choice, whether it be like Amazon AWS says you can't run on our servers unless you change or whatever, or maybe there's some powers that be that we can't really like see that are kind of pulling some strings for them. So I guess my question is like, how do you guys hope to prevent that from happening? So like when you guys get big, do you think that people will be trying to pull your strings and you're just going to be firm on saying no? And then also, how do you guys like run Flote? Is it on a server of a big tech company that eventually are you guys going to have to worry about like them pulling you and then figuring that out?
Well, first we've already kind of been tried to, or people have already tried, companies have already tried to kind of like pull our strings and threaten us. So we removed ourselves off of the iOS App Store, Apple App Store back in January when we saw what they did to Parler. And we were just like, we're not going to dump time, money, resources into building an iOS app. They're just going to come and do the same thing to us. So instead of us doing that, let's put it towards decentralization efforts and, whatever. So we got off the Apple App Store back in January. Then just a couple of weeks ago, Google did reach out to us about our Android app in their app store. And they basically pulled a piece of content from our app after asking us to create them a login, just a regular user login on our app, which a normal person can do in just 5 seconds. They got nothing special. But anyway, they sent over a piece of content and they said, if you don't remove this content, then you're going to have to, you're going to be removed from our app store on December 29th.
May I ask what the content was?
It was just an NSFW pornography account on Flote, which it's a very small percentage of that kind of content that lives on Flote. So,
And the fact that you can see these types of images on Twitter, Reddit,
Instagram.
you can
Facebook.
use Google Chrome to obviously go to porn sites.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it felt like they were like really digging to find something to complain about and threaten us with.
Yeah.
So instead of like, going back and forth, as we know, which would probably happen in the future, and playing whack-a-mole with whatever type of content they think that we should censor, we just said, forget it. Thankfully now we have an APK that can be downloaded onto Android devices directly from our websites. And also, I recommend that people use web apps, which a lot of people don't know about, but you can create a web app directly from a browser on your phone and add it to your home screen,
Right.
which basically, pings the website whenever you want to use it and acts as an app basically. And you don't have to worry about new versions or anything like that. It automatically updates.
So we would much rather just get all of this stuff out of the way. Like we were on Amazon Web Services for about a month when we first started, but like we research things before we jump in and start. So we knew that like being on AWS was not safe for us. And that was a hard lesson that Parler had to learn. I don't know why they were on AWS. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Right now we are on another server that provider that does they have shown that they may be willing to censor data in the future. So we're currently in the middle of moving all of our infrastructure over to Epic, which actually runs InfoWars and a bunch of other ones.
Right. And we got on a video call with the CEO of that company to kind of feel it out and see if it would be a good fit for us. And he is just like the most delightful man, like he just sat there and, he is very aligned philosophically with what we are and what we're about. And he's made promises, that our content would be safe against, censorship. And
yeah, he's building like a really robust, resilient cloud system. So
he's like, your data is going to have an underwater server in the middle of an ocean, and it's going to be fireproof.
And it's funny too, because if you look up his name, Rob Monster, on Google, the first things that's going to pop up is like
the Lex Luthor of the internet.
Yeah, the villain of the internet.
It's like this grandfather just sitting in a cardigan with like a pipe in his study, and he's like, "You guys ever, want to come over for a cup of tea?" Like he's just the nicest guy.
Yeah,
it's Rob Monster.
Yeah, Rob Monster with Epic EPIC.
Nice, got it. Just I want to look it up later. But what's it called? Just curious, and then I want to kind of move it a second. But are there blockchain services that you can use for that, or they're not really too developed yet?
Yeah, no. So we are looking. We've initially we've always had the goal of being as decentralized as possible. Well, where it makes sense. I don't think necessarily that cat pictures need to live on blockchain forever. I don't. So what we're more about, we feel that the best strategy is to pick multiple cloud service providers that have shown that they will
go to bat.
Yeah, go to bat or stand up for free speech. That way, our data is duplicated amongst many companies and servers across the world, and then give users the option whether they want to. We're looking into integration with IPFS, which is a decentralized protocol to host data, and blockchain. So for instance, we're looking to become a library app so that people, when they post videos onto Flote, they can also post that to the library blockchain, which will be backed up. So looking at different integrations of how that we can bring onto the Flote as a platform and give users that opportunity to be able to interact with those as they choose.
Awesome, good stuff. Well, I feel like I have like 100 questions for you. I feel like I already got to like plan another session with you, but to move the conversation a little bit, I want to hear a little bit more about this market. Would this be something that like anyone can sell anything kind of? Is that like a Silk Road type of idea, or what's that going to look like?
Yeah, that would be the goal, right? In a perfect, I guess, more libertarian world. But do we censor our users? No, but do we have to follow the laws of the country that we reside in? Yes. No one wants to go to prison. So yeah, we'll have to not have things that are illegal to be bought and sold on the marketplace.
Right. That'll just be built into the rules.
Yeah. Eventually, I see cryptocurrency and blockchain kind of taking over where government is standing in the way as far as human evolution. So I think eventually we'll get there where people will be able to post more things. You do see regulations kind of opening up for cannabis and hopefully psychedelics in the future, as they've now been shown year over year to provide actual health measures for people that choose to adopt that into their daily routine. But yeah, we'll have to kind of monitor stuff like that, unfortunately, until things clear up.
Yeah, definitely, unfortunately. But what's called now, I want to hear a little bit more about your idea for IDs. I brought up a little just idea. I think it's weird that you do so much in high school, but like nothing that's useful, it seems. And like my high school, we had driver's ed after you got your license. Like, I have no idea.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense. But I have a lot of students. I taught in like inner city Philadelphia. I have a lot of students who don't get their driver's license, and then they don't have a state ID, and then they typically like don't vote because like you need an ID to vote, and like they're not going to go spend a day to get this card just to use once every 4 years, whatever. So I was like, maybe in high school we should have just IDs given, that you'd have one use out of high school. But you said you had an idea for Flote of kind of like cross examining different profiles. Like, could you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's something that I've been brainstorming myself and talking to the team about for a while. Hopefully we'll be able to start integrating it onto Flotes sometime next year. But yeah, we're entering this this new world where we have this physical ID that we have to have in order to access mostly government or regulated industries. But in reality, the trend is that your online identity is becoming even more so. I mean, if people, if you've got a blue check mark on Twitter and you have 100,000 followers or 1 million followers, I mean, people are going to ask you for your ID to verify who you are, right? So my idea is that okay, how do we I'm always thinking too, like, how do we privatize all these government services and make them better? So my idea is that we with Flotes. Flote could be your one of the kind of the central hub of at least the members of Flote, and then they can basically verify their other online social IDs. So you can verify your Google one, your Twitter, your Facebook.
Sort of like how Keybase does it.
Yeah, you can have, you can verify your Reddit one. So that way I can say, okay, I'm talking to you on Flote. And this is really important for us, really, I mean, so it has a big use case. We've been impersonated so many times on Instagram and Facebook of fake people trying to, take money. Yeah,
scam people out of their crypto.
Yeah, it's actually happened twice to two people that we know. Unfortunately, they use like now, especially with technology, they're using like deep fake technology for both video and audio to manipulate people.
Yep.
And the gatekeepers right now for like this kind of like this blue check mark is where the process is where you have to usually contact them or be someone very famous, and then submit your government paperwork, and then we
have to keep it on file, and like we don't want to do that. We don't.
So how can we make this process where it's not supposed to be like a status symbol, but an actual use case for like online identification? So having people again verify all their different social profiles, link it back to their Flote profile, and then also offer a way for people to vouch for certain people. So if I know that Erin is a Flote user and she has all these things, then it just levels of trust. So I can put in like another vouch for them. Obviously, even following someone is somewhat of a vouch, but that can also be spoofed.
Right.
And then also offering, just knowing the way that the world is, we're not quite there with this idea of just online privatized ID, but we are stepping closer to it. So giving people, if they want to, the ability to opt in and use a third-party provider that provides KYC to submit their government documents if they want to do that. An example, would be a great one for Flote Market. If I have a business and I want to make sure that my customers have all the levels of trust that Flote can provide, or this technology can provide, then I may want to do, all those things plus the government ID, so that when a customer is talking with me, they know exactly who they're talking with, and
Nice.
So it's levels of trust, right? I mean, even government IDs can be spoofed, as we've seen with Jeffrey Epstein's fake IDs, and we all know the stories of being in high school and getting a fake ID or whatever. So
I had plenty of fake IDs, and then I feel like there's definitely a lot of use case for that. I love that idea. I think I'm surprised like it doesn't already kind of exist. And then I feel like with the metaverse and kind of like virtual reality, it's going to be even more important, because you have a lot, like impersonating is scary, but like in the virtual worlds, when you're kind of interacting with people, I feel like it's going to be that much more scary. So having that type of verification, I think, would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you can even verify a lot of problem right now with the internet and social media's fake news.
Yeah.
So a lot of that's coming from the mainstream as well, but there's a lot of stuff that comes in. I mean, I'm constantly fact checking whatever comes my way just to make sure it's true or not. And so there's cool things that you can do, with this ID concept, and even making it so that this is actually, I think, I believe a use case for NFTs even, where if I post a piece of information, I want to make sure that information is basically bonded to my Flote profile, reputation on blockchain. There's interesting concepts that you can come up with with this.
But that does not mean a fact checker is going to be implemented onto Flote. I want to clarify.
Yeah, be your own fact checker.
Got it. So I want to get we're towards the end. I want to get some more like fun questions. I'm sure most people who know you, or even people who don't know you, might be aware like you guys met from a Bitcoin meetup. I think it's 2013, 2014. When was it?
Yeah, 2014.
2014. Yeah.
2014. So from what I understand, Kingsley was starting having like a Bitcoin meetup event. Erin worked at the bar or event space, but I want to kind of hear what actually happened that night. Like, did you right away be like, I'm gonna hit on her, or did she hit on you? Did you kind of did it take some time? Was it the second event that you kind of talked? How did that kind of go?
Yeah, sorry, our dog wants to get into the stream here.
No worries.
So before the year previous, I lived in Canada actually for a year outside of Toronto. And so I started attending the Toronto Bitcoin meetups, which were really great, meeting a lot of people, talking about interesting stuff. And then I moved back to Vegas in early 2014, and I was like, man, I would love to bring that type of community for crypto and get the word out and promoting crypto here locally in Vegas. So it was kind of like the stars really aligned, because as soon as I was thinking about doing this, I saw a news article from the local press saying that the D Hotel in Las Vegas, located on Fremont Street, was starting to accept Bitcoin for their hotels, their gift store, and what else was? Oh, there were all the restaurants there as well. So it's like, oh, cool! This would be like a perfect place to start do a meetup. I called that day, and Erin picked up, not knowing even really. She had heard about Bitcoin because they were discussing it like internally with the company. Yeah. But I guess she like put me on hold and looked up Bitcoin for Dummies, and we planned a meeting to go check out the ballroom that they were going to give us. And I saw her. She saw me. She was actually going out with someone at the time, so that kind of put
Yeah. A fiat user, yeah.
And I just remember, I guess, she felt some feelings, and then I remember going on to the
no, it's crazy actually, because so like the second I heard his voice on the phone, I like looked back at my friend who was working behind me. I was like, this guy sounds hot, and then as soon as like I saw him face to face in our first meeting, it was crazy. I just like, I don't know. I think I felt like a rush of emotions, but the only way I can possibly describe it is like I really did feel like magic. Like I did feel like sparks. Like I looked at him and I was like, this person is going to be really important to me or my future in the future, you know. And I was dating somebody and I didn't act on those feelings, but like I couldn't ignore I had never felt that before.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah.
Were you into like tech at all, or like libertarian stuff before that? Or?
Not at all.
No, she was actually a Obama supporter previous to
Oh,
that.
no way.
So
Very
yeah, I'm pretty good at like planting seeds, and really it's just all about just like, you know, questioning their viewpoints. So just like, you know, saying, oh, okay, well, why do you believe that, or why this, or
Yeah.
hey, have you ever considered this, and just really getting them to come to the conclusion. So when that never really stopped me when I found out that she was a Democrat and supported Obama.
Yeah, he just asked me, you know, why do you believe in what you believe in? And once I realized that I couldn't defend, I was just parroting like what I heard on, you know, on the news or like through friends. And once I realized I couldn't defend like why I believed what I believed in, everything kind of just totally flipped on its head. And I started looking into Ron Paul, and I was like, oh my God, I used to write him off as like the crazy old kook on my TV during Republican debates. And and he just totally kind of put things into perspective for me, you know, and really let me like do my own research and come to, you know, my own conclusions. And once I saw what I saw, I was just like, whoa. Like I watched the Ron Paul documentary about basically censorship, you know, and how he was censored in his 2008 and 2012 campaigns. And I just couldn't believe it. Like I could not believe the disconnects from, you know, what actually happened, truth, and then what was portrayed on the media. And I was blown away.
So yeah, so a year later we ended up you know, she ended up you know, leaving her guy at the time, and then I stepped in.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it took a year for that to happen.
Yeah.
Oh wow, good stuff. What's called, your story kind of reminds me a little bit of like Snowden. I feel like from the movie, his girlfriend was like a Democrat, and he kind of like did the same thing of just like questioning her, and that works because eventually they can't really answer the questions.
Right.
That's funny. I've never actually put that connection together.
Yeah. But I guess last little question. What do you guys do for fun? Because it seems like you definitely enjoy work and you're passionate about what you do, but like not blockchain, not work related. What do you guys kind of enjoy, or what are some goals that you'd like to try and do?
Yeah, well, we were hoping to maybe pop out a baby next year. So that's one goal. We hit another goal of moving to Texas. So we just moved from Vegas to Texas 2 months, a little over 2 months ago.
Honestly, like what we do for fun, it's such a hard question because honestly, we just
play with the animals.
We work all the time. We have like a mini zoo. So we have like 2 animals, 2 cats.
Or 4 animals, yeah.
Yeah,
2 cats.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 animals. Yeah. Sorry, 2 dogs, 2 cats. And you know, and they take up a lot of our time and focus, and we love them just so much. But
yeah, we go, you know, we like to go shooting, and I like to work out. I haven't been working out that much, which I need to pick back up since we moved here.
We're really big fans of watching Yellowstone every Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, just, you know, just nothing crazy, but besides, you know, maybe just the shooting stuff, but that's really it. Yeah, just normal stuff. Like to read and all that.
When we get out.
Yeah.
I like it. What I said that was the last question, but I really got one last question. Coin that you like right now. What's your favorite coin?
Flote token.
Yeah, well, we're launching Flote token, which we're excited about. They'll be integrated into the platform. Nice. But you know, yeah, we like quite a bit. You know, we like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's always the main guy.
But I wouldn't consider that a favorite. Yeah. It's not something I really transact in anymore. You know, like there was a time we were living off of Bitcoin and paying our bills, paying our developers, paying our rent, paying for groceries, paying for travel. You know, and it was easier back then because the fees weren't as exorbitant. You know, I honestly feel like Bitcoin Cash is probably like the most usable right now. It's just cheap and fast, and
we like, I don't know, we're like, honestly, like we don't even spend that much time. We were much more in the investing in other cryptos back in the last bull run.
Yeah, mostly now we just use our crypto to pay our employees.
Yeah, so we just we haven't been, it's been crazy to watch this latest bull run this year, but we haven't been really speculating much on which is unfortunate sometimes, because you see crazy things happen with
Crazy
like Doge and
every time I got in Doge late and I got in Sheav late. And
the smart thing I think is building what you guys are doing. That's really what like, I don't know, making a lot of money on a coin overnight sounds cool, but I don't know, I think like long term building something that's awesome that you want to see, I think is a bit cooler.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
another coin actually I would say that is very interesting and that has made someone we know pretty decent returns is Hex.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing that. That's like Richard Hart, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
So that's probably the most interesting one.
But that's about all the time we have. I really enjoyed getting to know you guys a little bit more. I feel like I have a million more questions for you guys, so I'm definitely gonna have to ask you guys them at some point. I'm on Flote, so I'm excited to see you guys there, and thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, cool. This was fun, and thanks for doing your research. I was not expecting you to know that King and I met in 2014. That was cool.
I think I've asked. I think you commented that on my one of my posts once, and that's an awesome way to meet. So I'm not gonna forget that for sure.
Well, thanks again for having us on. We really enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone who's listening. Have a good one. Talk to you guys soon.